All right, welcome back to the show. It is August 11th here in the beautiful, muggy state of Iowa. I'm Nathan Creeves, joined by my co-host, Mr. Bryce Borschler. Bryce, when I think of when we get to the double digits of August, I think of back to school season.
Hmm.
And as an adult now, there's no better feeling. It's got to be a top five feeling for back when you see back to school season.
Yes, because you don't have to go back to school. Is that the point?
Yes, and I really do believe the school calendar sets the world in motion.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Everything goes to a normal basis. It's healthy for my mind just to see kids walking around on campus, as simple as that is. Obviously, you got fall football right around the corner. It's the good times,
Yeah.
and
I guess that
it's
makes
good
a
to
lot
get
of
back
sense
on
since you're in a
schedule.
college town. That makes like a ton of sense.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah. I
And
guess we're far enough removed where I don't exactly like think of it, but I would say that we are in 100% limbo right now. The way that we are at, like, we don't have kids and we don't go to school, but like you said, everything is run on that school calendar. Parents are so ready for their kids to go back to school, so they don't have to babysit anymore. And kids are dreading it, but they got their lives planned out for the next 180 88 school days, something like that.
well, I there was no worse feeling than going to Walmart or your Hy-Vee
Yep.
or whatever your local store in town and seeing back to school and they get the big ass pencil
Uh huh.
cardboard cutout thing, and you're just like,
Yep.
oh shit. Don't get me wrong, I love school, but it's still school.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see that shit, especially when you're midsummer. So now as an adult seeing that, you're just like, haha.
My hair cutter was telling me that her son had like that preschool. You get to like walk around and tour like where your classes are at, and it just
Yep.
sent me immediately back down memory lane. I'm like, God, that was so nerve wracking. But then you felt so good after you knew where all your classes were. But I am glad that I'm done with that stage of life.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I guess we'll recap our weekends quick. Did you go to the Iowa State Fair?
We didn't. Nope. Did a little
Okay.
happy hour with Ben and Jeremy on Friday night, and we thought about it. We did not go. I think that was the right move. It was way too hot, like 93 degrees that day. And then,
Five
yeah, played a little golf on
five
Saturday, and we're like, yeah, we're done. We're
five
not
hundred
going for it.
degrees
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State Fair.
Yep. Death taxes and the fair being extremely hot on the first weekend, and it was.
Yeah, we're gonna recap the Iowa State Fair, even though neither one of us stepped a single foot inside the area. Uh, we'll go over our weekends here. Where'd you guys get a little happy hour at?
We went to Big Grove first, had a couple easy eddies, which I still think is my favorite beer in the state of Iowa. There's some contenders, and we got actually into a little group chat debate about this with some of the Des Moines guys. For me, it's still number one. And then we hit Eatery A for some half price pizza, and then a little place on Ingersoll called GT's, which was fun. We ended up drinking a little bit more than we thought, but it was nice. Hadn't seen those boys in a minute, and got a little plans for Vegas. We started a new group chat for Vegas, and Jeremy has not unveiled his big plan for that yet, but he had a great idea that involves a little bit of gambling for everybody.
Oh,
So
oh,
yeah, pretty low key weekend. It was the first weekend we didn't travel in about a month, so it was really
oh!
nice to be back in Des Moines, chilling out. You said that you feel refreshed, you feel great. I feel that same way. Feel good.
How awesome is that? It's
Yeah,
not freaking having to leave your hometown and drive across the state and then come back Sunday and trying to get your shit back together for the following week or the upcoming
exactly.
week.
So what's crazy is we were just in Milwaukee last weekend for a wedding, and
Oh, you
this
survived.
yeah, we
Yeah.
survived it. We were there like a few days before the big flood, so
Mm.
you saw all that coverage. If you haven't, prayers up for Milwaukee because it is not looking very good. Everything's underwater. They got something like 18 inches of rain in like
Damn.
less than a day. It was crazy.
That direct storm kind of started in the Cedar Falls area. I'm not sure if you guys received any of it, but
Little,
we got
yeah.
we got like 2-3 inches, but it obviously progressed the further east it went. I know Dubuque got hit pretty hard.
Mhm.
My favorite storm chaser, Reed Timmer, was posting flood damages in just west side of the Butte, but nothing like Milwaukee. Obviously, it's crazy. It's how many 18-inch rain days have we had here in the country this year?
Yeah, it's been crazy. This is like we talked about it every single week. You've been given weather updates and highs and lows and snowfall and rain accumulation. And I would say like we might not be setting like daily records, but we're setting like we got to be on pace for a very, very wet
I
year.
I tried looking into it. I know we received as Iowa's a total. I know that's very skewed because one side of the state could probably get four times as much rain as
Yeah.
another part of the state. But I think Iowa took in about 36 inches of rain last year. And I remember August being completely dry because my grass was as brown as a possibly could be. Now I can't keep up with the jungle
Yeah.
in my front yard. It's a good problem to have, but I'm almost when we get to this time of the year, I'm kind of sick of mowing. So I'm looking for the no grow season. But no, I couldn't find any numbers quite yet on 2025, but I'll be curious to look in December when it's all said and done for precipitation.
Yeah.
It's got to
Yeah.
be up.
Well, either which way, we avoided the big Milwaukee flood just in time, and it was awesome to be back. What did you guys do this weekend?
Well, I had the classic 11th annual meat locker tournament up in Elma, Iowa. It's up
Yeah.
in Mennonite country, just east or just northwest of New Hampton by about 15, 20 minutes. This is my fourth one. It's one of my favorite tournaments because it's one of the most giving tournaments. For competitive wise, we usually just compete against our previous score. We try to beat our previous score from the previous year. Then we came one stroke shy. I would say we played as almost consistent as we did in Green, Iowa for the one tournament. We played unbelievable, but we just never made a single putt.
Yep.
I think every single birdie look we had was 15 feet. We just could not get inside that 15-foot birdie putt look. But we ended with, I think, 8 under, but that's also with 4 pickup putts. So you get on the green, you can pick a putt automatically in for the putt. But here's the different thing about this year. Last year, they gave everybody meat. Didn't matter what place you placed, they just gave everybody meat. This year, they actually flighted it out. And we were one stroke too good and one stroke not bad enough.
Oh,
or
damn.
we should have been one stroke better. But so we were just in between the two flights. We were one stroke away from being championship second flight and one stroke not good enough to be in the championship flight third place. So we got absolutely nothing this year. So when it rains, it pours. But nonetheless, it was a good time.
Such a cool tournament, giving away meat. I think that needs to be an Iowa staple. If you're starting up a golf outing, consider giving away some meats. It's kind of a fun little prize.
Yeah, like I said, every year they gave away that $40,000 Ranger too. No one won it this year. Dang it. My father-in-law, by the time when it's all said and done, he'll probably put $40,000 into this raffle trying to win this Ranger. So hopefully he gets it sooner than later.
Nobody won it. So nobody won the raffle, or
no. Nobody from our family won it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Some guy from Lime Springs, Iowa, won it. So congratulations to him. Nothing. Yeah, we got nothing. Really sad. But the big story was that it was gonna be raining all day. So you go into this tournament, you're like, oh shit, it's gonna rain on us. But the dome prevailed, pushed every storm just right around us. We maybe got hit with 10 to 15 minutes of rain versus what we were expecting, about 4 to 5 hours of rain.
Yeah.
And it turned out to a beautiful August day of golf, about 77 degrees, cloudy, and it was just a beautiful day for golf. So really
hot on that first state fair day, and then it got really nice because we played that Saturday morning too, and we're like, oh man, we're gonna get rained on. Ended up being like the best overcast day. You said you're sick of mowing. I'm sick of playing golf in 98. I'll say 85 degrees and humid. I'm just kind of a little bit ready for the fall.
God, well, we had that Riverside golf 2 weeks ago, and it was 105-degree heat index, humid as it could be, and we just hated life. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, the worst thing is not being able to grip the club. I said I wasn't ready for fall, but after a couple hot golf days, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it. So I saw you had something on the notes here. Speaking of fall, what's going on at Hy-Vee?
So every Sunday we go and get our groceries. Just a typical Sunday adventure for us, my wife and I. And we talk about all the time on this podcast how we premature holidays, premature seasons. We get a little excited for it. I'm guilty of it. Probably one of the most guilty people in the States of it. But we walked in the freaking Hy-Vee yesterday. They already have a huge Halloween section with a 10-foot cutout scarecrow. Not a cutout, an actual 10-foot scarecrow in a huge Halloween area. I'm like, oh my God, that's so soon.
It's so nuts, dude. I don't understand it.
That's ridiculous.
If you're buying pumpkin stuff right now, you are out of your mind. You don't even put that up until that's 45 days away.
It must be some major money making machine. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I can see why they put it out so far in advance. But guys, obviously I see that scarecrow. We talked scarecrow all in the car, and sure enough, last night's Instagram Reels venture was nothing but Halloween.
Yep.
And I held back. I skipped it, so my algorithm wanted to be completely based on it. But it tried. It tried to push it Halloween in my life here in August. August 10th. Yesterday was.
Nate, this is our 52nd podcast, which would mark exactly a year since we started the show. And I'm getting flashbacks to this time last year talking about Halloween. And I don't care. It'll surprise me every single year. And obviously, you're right. I think they obviously have people buying this stuff. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. But I'm holding off too. I mean, it's 2 weeks away from football season. I'm still holding off on my. I'll get too excited. I'll ruin the vibe if I start thinking about Halloween and football too soon.
Yeah, I was sick of Halloween last year when it came by. I'm like, we got to. It's one of my favorite holidays, you know that. So
Yep.
we're gonna hold off a little bit longer. But yeah, just what you said. I was sick of the same thing. I think this is officially unofficial, our 1 year anniversary
Mm-hmm.
podcast as the show has come back. So congratulations to us. We've said some stupid shit. We've said some funny shit. But most importantly, we've consistently said some shit.
We've
So pat on
consistently
the
said
back.
something every single week, which is cool.
Yeah, it is. So thanks for everybody for sticking with us. We have a lot of fun doing this, so we appreciate any listener we get, and hopefully we suck a little bit less than a year ago. I
Yeah.
think we do.
I'll say, we're not going to make this a memory lane podcast. It's definitely not in the notes. I think we have a really good show set up for this week, actually. But just so many comments over the year from people that tapped in, maybe listen to one episode, maybe they listen every single week. But it was fun going back to that wedding last week and talking with a bunch of hometown classmates. Either themselves or their parents are listening in because it's just fun for them to kind of hear what we're up to and what we're doing these days. And that's a lot of fun. So if there's nothing else that we get out of this, it's been a lot of fun just keeping people informed on our lives, like this 10, 15-minute recap we do every week and giving our very uninformed opinions on Iowa topics. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, which we're about to do. Well, we just got done talking about potential Halloween here, and going back to the Iowa State Fair this week, Bryce. It looks like there was a state record set for the pumpkin. And I feel like there's one
Holy
set
moly.
every year. And we have a picture up here on the screen, we'll throw up here in the podcast YouTube section. But the 2025 Iowa State Fair's biggest pumpkin contest was won by Pete and Alba Caspers of Peosta, whose pumpkin weighed in a record-breaking 1,409 pounds. Bryce, this pumpkin broke the previous fair record of 1,323 pounds. Now, the Casper's pumpkin also significantly outperformed the second place finisher this year, who came in at a weight of 552 pounds. So almost surpassing it by 1,000 pounds.
First of all, you guys can see this. This thing is massive. If you know that somebody won it last year with a 1,300-pound pumpkin, what are you doing bringing a 500-pound pumpkin? You just got ran out of the gym. Congrats to the Caspers. That's a massive pumpkin and a new record. That's sweet, but come on, 552. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'd like to know the science behind this. How long do they grow it? What in the hell do they inject into these pumpkins?
Yeah, what are they doing here?
It's crazy. So congratulations to the Caspers. And that's one of my favorite things. We're going to go down the list here about the Iowa State Fair. Just as ridiculous competitions.
Yeah.
And we saw the mullet and legs contest. I saw the mullet. I did see clips of the mullet contest, and I saw clips of the leg contest. I didn't quite understand the leg contest. Is it the physicality of the leg, or is it a tan line of the leg?
I'm not sure how the judges were judging it. It looked like people with great tan lines were getting a lot of claps and smiles from the judges. It looked like people with good definition and maybe even style. Like if you're wearing jorts and New Balances, I think you got a little bit more love. I'm not exactly sure how they chose the winner, but I saw all kinds of different legs over the weekend.
Awesome. I would get last place. I have some of the worst legs. It's in my genetics. My wife lets me know every week. So congratulations to whoever won those contests. It's not on the list here, but one of my favorite one was the bagging contest, the grocery bagging contest.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And whoever wins that gets sent to the world bagging competition in Las Vegas, and for like a 2-day stay and some prize worth a couple $1,000 or something like that. So congratulations to whoever Fairway or High View worker won that.
Yeah, that's always a good one. One of my favorites is coming up this week. I think on Friday, August 15th, the husband calling contest, which has gotten a lot of popularity on social media the last couple of years. Just some all-time husband callers out there in the state.
Hold up. Dude, the Iowa State Fair is 2 weeks long.
10 days long.
It's 10 days long. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I knew that.
Next Sunday.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I always feel like once you get past the first weekend, it's history. But I guess there's a whole nother weekend after that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, awesome contest. Some of the best. This is just nothing but viral clips you would see on TikTok and Instagram. The husband calling contest, the chicken doodly-doo contest, you name it. All these ridiculous things. But Now, that is one of the biggest parts of the fair, all these ridiculous contests, but I would say the bright spot are the concerts.
Yes. Yep. And somebody in particular took over the entire social media feed this weekend, and that was Pitbull. Something I didn't understand completely. I'd say I'm a relatively casual fan of Pitbull. I'll always get down to a little hotel room service. The Emmas, the Iowa Chill Emmas, some of the content gurus that we have in our back pocket these days, dressed up as Pitbull at one of their Halloween contests last year. And apparently the signature move is to wear the bald cap. And the bald caps took over the state fair yesterday. That was awesome. I've got some pictures here. I'll throw those up. I think this alone would make the concert super, super fun. We are not going to go. A bunch of the people from Des Moines are going to T-Pain later this week. A little bit jealous. We have to miss that out because of the Scott and Dusty Burek wedding reception, but always a pretty solid lineup at the Iowa State Fair. Have you ever been to a concert at the grandstands?
I've never been in a concert there, and that's exactly why I probably haven't had the best experience at Iowa State Fair.
I think if you want to do the fair right, especially at our age, you spend a little bit of time at the craft beer tent, the bud tent, or jalapeno Pete's, and then you basically use that as a pregame for the Iowa State Fair grandstand, and you go to one of the artists that you like that year. Normally, I'd say we go to one every year or every other year, and this will be one of those that we don't. But I've seen some great ones over the years. Zach Brown Band, Little Big Town, Jason Derulo, one of my all-time favorite concerts I've ever been to. Derulo went crazy. Last year we went to Neo, Greta Van Fleet. We've been to quite a few, and I wouldn't say it's like the best venue for a concert, but it is fun. You gotta
remember when we had Mike on from the Pork Tornadoes?
Yeah.
Do we rank the grandstands at all? Is it up there, Bryce? You've been there a bunch, or is it just a big amphitheater that a lot of people just go? It's all right.
I'm interested to hear what a listener would say to this comment, but I would say it's probably a 5 out of 10 concert experience. The big issue is if you're not in the lower level, in the standing area or the lower bleachers, you're really fighting some of those beams because it is a covered seating area up top, and depending on where you're at, you might have some objects in view. So I'd say it's like an okay venue. What I do like is that you're facing north. You've got the sun setting on one side. You've got all the fair carnival rides on the right side. So like the setting looks cool, but I wouldn't say it's like an ideal venue for watching a concert.
Got you. It's not so much the venue, it's the name that comes to the venue itself. Yep. Okay, cool. So I guess we still have a week left of Iowa State Fair recap. Yep. So we'll be talking a little bit about it next week when we hop on. But Bryce, before we jump into more Iowa news here, let's hop in the time machine and take a look back at history here for August 11th weather records in Des Moines, Iowa. We're coming at a set in 1941, right down there in World War II. 102 degrees Fahrenheit is the highest temperature ever recorded here in the state of Iowa on August 11th. For the low, it is 47 degrees Fahrenheit, set in 1902. Most precipitation, 2.67 inches, set in 1913. And your average high is 84 degrees.
Okay, nice.
What's the average mugginess? That's what I'd like to know.
I know. I do want to see if we can get these rain totals, how wet and how humid it is compared to year-over-year numbers, because it does feel like a very wet summer.
Dude, I'm so sick of coming out of my room at 6 in the morning and not being able to look out my windows because they're just sweating.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had that a lot lately.
Oh, my God. It's every day.
How many weeks in a row have we had a high or low temperature that has been set before 1945?
Every week.
It's every week. It's crazy. And all those people saying, all the climate change and all the global warming types are like, the extremes of the weather. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Maybe it's just Mondays, but Mondays have been crazy the last few weeks of the pod.
It is. Yeah, every time we do this recap in history on the day of, we always land on some significant days. And with that being said, on August 11th, 1961, the small town of McGregor, Iowa. You ever heard of it?
I've been there. Yep.
Yes. Was the site of a major UFO sighting that was witnessed by dozens of local residents. According to reports, Bryce, a large silver object appeared in the sky and hovered overhead, emitting a bright light and loud buzzing sound. While the sighting was never fully explained, it remains one of the most intriguing UFO sightings in Iowa history.
Interesting. Okay. So right next to Pikes Peak State Park, right just off the Mississippi River. Here's what I don't know. Did this happen, or did McGregor, Iowa need something to happen? Because it's McGregor, Iowa, and it's a population of like 1,000 people.
I think the McGregor Iowans might have been drinking a little too much moonshine
Mm-hmm.
weekend. They may have saw a little something, but it's probably not a UFO, and they probably extended the limits of it. So I don't know. I'd be all for it if I was there. If I did or did not even see it, I would totally believe it, just because I needed some type of entertainment for me in McGregor, Iowa.
Especially 1960s Iowa, you need to manufacture your own stories and entertainment. There's not always a ton going on. I get it. Maybe this happened. I don't know. What is your official stance on unidentified flying objects?
Oh, God, I was going to ask you that. I want to believe him, but I feel like I would have seen something by now. There would be some type of evidence with social media. I know you see all sorts of posts, but they get hot for a week and then they just disappear.
Yeah.
If it was a real deal, I feel like it would be confirmed by now. The universe is so big that we can't comprehend it.
Yes.
But I just feel like if it's so big, we feel like we would have seen some shit by now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not going to say yes until I actually see something.
Yeah, I agree. I'm totally on board with that. And I'm also in the camp of the world is a speck of dust in the grand scheme of the universe. And the thought of no intelligible life outside of us might be a little facetious. I don't know. I know that Rogan always talks about the fact that there's maybe super advanced civilizations somewhere in the universe, and the reason we don't always see them on Earth is because that they're so advanced and so fast that we can't detect them. Like, okay, that's a very easy.
I feel like by then they would just invade us. If you're that advanced, what are you doing just looking at us? Take over us.
I agree. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe their thing isn't, the same as us. I know that humans would do it as soon as we found another. we'd take it
got
over.
A bomb.
Yep.
Ooh, that looks nice. I want to take that over with my new bomb. Do you believe in? Have you seen like Skinwalker Ranch clips?
No.
Have you heard about Skinwalker Ranch?
I just saw a Skinwalker TikTok, and my mentality when I see stuff like that is to swipe. I want to get right back to my golf TikTok. Yeah. Tell me more about Skinwalker.
It's like a weird farm ranch. I think it's in Utah. It's out kind of in the middle of nowhere. Just a weird bunch of phenomenons happen, like ghost, like mutated coyote, where the guy shot the coyote like 14 times with a shotgun and then didn't move. He had like 6 witnesses with his family, a bunch of UFO sightings there, and obviously he had enough of living there and sold it to some investigators who now just sit there and do nothing but test there, and they see all this creepy shit. So
interesting.
Something weird to look into. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. And here's the thing: like, I'm not going to rule out anything. I'm just because I don't see something out my front window doesn't mean I don't believe it. But hey,
right.
Interesting.
People find it. Yeah. Especially here in Iowa, we want some entertaining things to happen. So if there's a little alien out there listening, just fly over my house, see what's up. Don't kill me, but fly on over.
I'll say hi.
Yeah, Bryce. When we usually do these on the day of histories in Iowa, we usually come up with something crazy. We've had the Ozzy Osbournes, a couple other crazy significance, a lot of tornado outbreaks, obviously, in these dates. We were one day away from something very historical that happened 5 years ago. We're one day off. So with that being said, I'm going to bring it into the podcast to shed some light on it, because on August 10th, 2020 marks 5 years since the Iowa derecho took place. And the storm had wind gusts up to 140 miles an hour, especially in Cedar Rapids, causing devastation across the entire state. It traveled over 770 miles in 14 hours, resulting in over $11 billion in damage, making it the costliest thunderstorm in U.S. history.
Yeah. Crazy time. It's wild that it's already been 5 years. 5 years since COVID, 5 years since the derecho. Just an insane year. So much damage. I've got some family members that were directly impacted. I wasn't, and I was lucky for that. We were up in Cedar Falls. I think we were traveling somewhere, and we didn't get directly impacted. But a new stat came out this week, which was crazy. I don't know if they were just waiting on this stat until the 5-year anniversary, or if they finally got done counting everything up. but an estimated 2.67 million trees in Iowa were destroyed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know how the hell you calculate that, but I'd like to know how many
That's exactly what I was saying too. Did it like take them 5 years to count all that up, or?
I'd like to know how many grain bins were taken down, how many corn stalks were taken down. That was probably the biggest impact of the storm, seeing all these grain bins like completely flattened by this 140 straight line wind. And like I said, I was in Cedar Falls too. All it did was get super dark here. We never experienced it, but my mom and my sister, I think it was her 4 kids at the time, were on their way to Des Moines, and they got caught in between outside of Ames and it. So this had no idea what was coming. They said one of the scariest experiences of their life. Pulled over some random farm, and a tree fell down in front of them.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah. Bradley, my brother, was in Ames. My grandparents in Cedar Rapids were affected. Aunt and uncle had just moved into a new house, and insane how long it took everything to insurance companies to catch up and help repay the damages. But just like the trees lost in Cedar Rapids alone was crazy. Like seeing, going there my whole life, visiting grandparents, and then, it looks like a completely different town. But
I went down the next day to go help pick up in Iowa City, and on your way down, I think right when you hit about the Center Point or Urbana area, it looked like an F5 tornado just went through everywhere. The amount of semi trucks, box trucks that are flipped over in the medium, all the trees were just naked, bare. If they were standing at that time. So, a lot of people outside of the state just, I don't think, ever really grasped the effect it really had. I mean,
No.
it was crazy. You could see it you can still see it when you drive through Cedar Rapids, where sections of bare areas are still there.
Yep. I remember even a couple of weeks after, because obviously power went out for 3 or 4 days in some of those areas, and we had people coming up to Cedar Falls, hanging out at Lost Island. They're like, we can't work. Kids aren't in school yet, so we're like, we don't know what to do. We've got our whole family, so they came up to Cedar Falls and just hung out for a while. And man, kind of crazy looking back. It doesn't feel that long ago.
Well, probably one of the worst things about it was that they were probably also coming up here to get gas. All the gas stations in there were down.
Yeah, you probably can't use your debit card because their POS system is down, and yeah, what a freaking mess.
Jeez, so 5 years already, crazy. Well, I guess we're going back to the Iowa State Fair here, Bryce, because I'm a little pissed off.
Yeah. Yep. Not so long ago, U.S. World News, something today. Who even knows if it's a legitimate stat? And we're going to say that it's illegitimate because they have ranked the Minnesota State Fair #1 nationally as the best state fair. Iowa does come in at #2, which is awesome to see because there's some good contenders, heavy hitters like Texas out there. But it's still unfortunate that Iowa doesn't get the #1 nod.
Yeah, are they just basing off daily visitors attendance? Is that how they rank it, or
I think so. I think it was just sheer mass. Honestly, I believe Minnesota has more daily attendance than even Texas. So you had to give Minnesota the nod there. I'm not sure what gives them the nod over Iowa because I think we have a very special state fair. Obviously, very biased, but yeah, I think Minnesota's got something cooking up there, and maybe it's deserved. I've never been, so I can't even really say. But
Minnesota can get down in country.
Yeah,
they can. I'll give it to them. So shout out to Minnesota. I would like to be #1 here for the state of Iowa in the future. And what news do we have about the butter cow this year? I haven't heard enough about the butter cow.
Iowa is one of 2 states that makes a butter cow each year. I forget when that started. It's been quite a while now.
There's another state that does it?
Yeah, Ohio does a butter cow as well.
God.
Yep. I know.
It's not even that cool anymore.
It's not, but it's cool enough to make a trip all the way over to Washington, D.C. Starting next Friday, I believe the 22nd. The Iowa State Fair butter cow will be displayed in the Smithsonian. They got a new exhibit, the State Fair's Growing American Craft exhibit. So kind of cool. Iowa will be represented over in Washington, D.C.
I'm going to look it up stuff. I want to know how much this butter cow weighs. Take a guess.
Not a ton. It's got, so it's butter on the outside. It's not butter all the way through. So there is some metal.
Oh my God, it's not even butter all the way through either.
No.
Oh my God, so they slap it on. Damn, I didn't know if they got a big ass block of butter and they carved it out.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping to. I think everybody had that. It's been 3 or 4 years at least since the news broke that it wasn't butter all the way through and through.
There you go. The Iowa State Fair's butter cow weighs approximately 600 pounds.
Okay.
It's made of Loy Moisture, pure cream Iowa butter, and is applied to a wood, metal wire, and
Hmm.
steel mesh frame.
Yep.
Man,
The more you know about the butter cow, the less
yeah,
exciting it gets, and that's the sad truth.
damn.
Hmm.
Dude, I know people love the butter cow, but I think it's the most overrated thing ever.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Because once you go
Okay.
up to that little stand in the agriculture building, you're like, okay, that's it. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I remember we spent like 5-10 seconds that one year. We were just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
But still love it.
Hmm.
But damn, that's a little over. That's sad. Yeah, I need to quit investigating more or researching about this butter cow.
You have less and less reasons to go to the fair. As a guy that
I
doesn't
know.
like going, there's not a lot of reasons for you to go. I will say I've seen a lot of food and menu items that look awesome that I haven't tried before, and it's making me want to go. But then I think about having to park and having to walk through the
Oh,
crowds and having to
that's
spend
the
the
first.
money, and I'm like, oh,
That's the first thing I heard about. I was listening to Murph and Andy
yeah.
on Friday, and they were doing a live show from the Iowa State Fair, and they have VIP parking.
Hmm.
And they said they got the VIP parking on a Thursday or Friday, or maybe Wednesday. I can't remember whichever day it freaking started. They got there and they said that parking lot was overflow just for the
Hmm.
VIP park. So
Yep.
there's an overflow area they went to. They said that was almost overflowed
Yeah.
already, just on
Hmm.
a normal work day at 11 a.m.
Yep.
Ridiculous, and that's for VIP parking. So that's one of my most hated things about the Iowa State Fair is the freaking parking.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's a clusterfuck. But what are you gonna do about it when you pull in 100,000 some people a day? So, all right, Bryce, let's move on to some more promising news here. I don't know if you heard about this, but Urbandale native Gannon Beer wins Gannon Burr. Okay, so Urbandale native Gannon Burr wins disc golf world championship. Okay,
This is
the
awesome.
Urbandale native. Yep, the Urbandale native claimed the title of 2025 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Champion. It's his fourth career championship. The World Championship was held outside of North America for the first time in sports history, which was actually held in Finland. So,
Okay.
shout
Nice.
to Gannon. That's big time.
Yeah. Big international victory. And
Hmm.
holy cow, 25,000 spectators at this thing. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, I see froth all the time on my Instagram reels. It's a very popular sport that you're going to think is super popular. I used to enjoy it myself back in the day, but you're probably wondering how much money is my boy Gannon making. Well, I got
Oh, it's
some
got to be a ton.
2024 stats here for you. Bird, the current number one ranked player in the world, took home 20,000 prize dollars with the win, adding to the growing list of career achievements. Okay, so that was actually for this tournament. My bad. The 2024 career earnings, he earned over $211,000 in tournament prize money.
That's incredible way to live. Even less taxing than normal golf. You're making 200K. Now, you got to be damn near the best to make this amount of money. I wonder what
Yes.
the average frisbee golfer makes. It can't be very much, but still, you're frisbee golfing professionally. How bad can it be? That's crazy.
No.
$20,000 just to throw a little disc and to the chain netting, which, by the way, one of the most satisfying sounds in sports.
Yep. I think the most surprising thing I saw about was the 25,000 spectators.
Yeah,
Damn.
that jumped out to me as well. But I kind of get it because it's like anything. When you watch somebody do something that you can't do, it is entertaining, and these guys can rip that frisbee.
Oh yeah, I was watching the highlights of them this morning. Just how freaking far they throw it and the style they throw it in. Man, we used to do it all the time when I lived at Hidden Valley in Cedar Falls. We had a froth course, and unfortunately, right next to the froth course was very tall wheat farm area.
Yeah,
So we lost a lot of discs. And shout out to my boy Pool Rat who
yeah,
would loan us disc after disc after disc, and I just watched us all chuck it right into that field, and he just kept positive energy as we
yeah,
launched his disc
yeah.
into
Yeah,
the
that's
forbidden.
even worse than losing a golf ball because those things are not cheap.
Oh God, yeah. So shout out to him for that. So, but Gannon Burr, you are my Iowa of the week. Congratulations on your
Well,
championship
well deserved.
representing Iowa. Last bit of Iowa news here before we get into our top 5 segment of the week. Death, taxes, Bryce, and Iowa coaches and their long tenured coaching careers here at a specific school in the state of Iowa, because the Northern Iowa Athletic Department announced that men's basketball head coach Ben Jacobson, the all-time winningest coach in UNI men's basketball program history, agreed to a 5-year contract extension that was announced on August 4th.
I totally missed this news, but I love Coach Jake. I remember when he got hired, I got a signed basketball from him as a kid, and I'm like, this is awesome. Love this guy. He went on to lead the Panthers to a couple Sweet 16s, nearly a Elite Eight. He's got a great career. It's obviously cooled off a little bit, but I love him. I think he's the right guy to keep. We've talked forever. Having coaches stick around helps programs, helps keep legacy, helps keep players around in this day and age where it's so easy to leave. And he's just a good guy. I remember when he first got the extension back in like 2016, 15. He's a Cedar Falls guy. He's an Iowa guy. I don't think he grew up here, but he loves Iowa, and I don't think he'd want to go anywhere else. And obviously, he's not going anywhere else for at least 5 years. That's awesome.
Nope. Coach Ben Jacobson is one of my most respected coaches in all of college basketball. I love what he stands for. When I used to work at Iowa Sports Supply, the old basketball of operations director, Derek, I can't remember his last name, Derek Netton. I used to work with him, and I'm like, hey, tell me a few things about Coach Jacobson. He says he's a family man.
Mm-hmm.
Family man. Obviously work is important, showing up every day, but if you have family priorities, go take care of them. If your at-home life isn't healthy, how can I expect you to have a healthy coaching style here, man?
Mm-hmm.
So he took care of his players, took care of his assistant coaches, and just it's got to be a healthy environment. And you forget how consistent his program has been because it's been overshadowed by the great regime of Drake basketball here in the last 6 years in Des Moines, Iowa. So, they're going to have a top program here again, Missouri Valley Conference, and looking forward to another great 2-run team here in the MVC when it comes to basketball season.
Yeah. There's one thing about Iowa, and that is like we're not only keeping coaches, but it's like coaches that you can look up to, good role models, teaching great values on and off the floor field. So great to see that Coach Jake is sticking around.
Yeah, I do have one story about him. He did hold the door for my brother one time walking to the fitness center a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So we can confirm that Ben Jacobson is a door holder.
Yep. He's Iowa nice. Confirmed.
That we can trust. Okay, so we're going to get into our top 5 segment of the week here. And I'm super excited about this one, actually. I was telling you about this a couple weeks ago. And first off, I got to give a shout out to my good friend, Mickey Hines. Mickey Hines is a guy who recommended this segment. He's one of our top listeners. He's always catching up with me and chatting about the podcast. And quick shout out to Mickey. Bryce, he's got a 2.5-year-old son. And his goal for him and his son this year was to visit 100 Iowa parks this year.
Ooh, great goal. Love that.
I think he's just approaching number 90 already. He's killing it. I had a pleasure of joining number 84 here in Waterloo this last week. So shout out to Mickey and their beautiful son, Bentley.
Can I clarify? Is this state parks? Is it like just regular swing set kind of park?
Swing set parks,
nice.
Stuff like you would see at like an elementary school, just random little wooden parks, you name it. He's seen it all, man. So he's been killing it out there in the Iowa City area. Obviously, he's got a lot of those conquered. Had to step outside of the neck of the woods, get up here to Waterloo and Cedar Falls and see what the park situation was. So shout out to him and shout out to him for the recommendation for the semi-pro sports teams. So yeah, that being said, we're going to be ranking the top 5 semi-pro sports teams here in the state of Iowa. And let's get some clarification, maybe how we're ranking these. I'm thinking of history, brand name, obviously. Have I been to one of these? Because I've not been to 98% of these.
Yes.
These programs, and fan attendance, fan loyalty, and just all around buzz.
Yeah. Similar.
And venues.
Yep. Similar criteria. Have not been to a ton. I think I've only been to 2 of these on my list. But diving into some history, some championships won, and obviously notoriety. Just the fact that you're on the list and that we know about you gets you some kind of qualification.
Yeah. Just being known is a huge step. A quick honorable mention. I'm giving an honorable mention to the Iowa Waterloo Woo.
Okay. I kind of expected the Woo to be on your list.
I did, but I'll explain the reason why. Maybe they didn't crack my top 5, but I've only been to one event, and it was an awesome experience. The arena kind of sucks, unfortunately. You and I, we know that arena, but just a super any small indoor arena football is fucking awesome, and I can't believe I didn't go to a game this year. I'm actually really upset about that, but awesome experience. And with that being said, Bryce, my number 5 is the Iowa Wolves. Okay. Never been to one, but I know Wells Fargo Arena. I appreciate it. The reason it's not any higher is because it's too big of an arena for an organization like that. And the reason why it does crack my number 5 is because they get to bring in all sorts of professional athletes from the NBA who are maybe in a bubble, a funk, and they can't get things together. So you get some big names that actually
Yep.
come through the organization, which is cool to keep track of.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I love that one, Nate. I'm gonna give the Dubuque Packers my honorable mention, and this is a shout out for Brant Culbertson, who participated in the 2022 championship in that very small semi-pro baseball league. I'm not even sure what division they play in, who their opponents are, but they won a championship. Baby. They won something back in the day. I'm also going with the Wolves.
Packers, huh?
Yep, number 5 for me is the Iowa Wolves.
Nice.
Shout out to Michael Caligiuri. He gets to run stats for those guys. I think for the whole season, the last couple of years, and he got to see Luka Garza and some of those boys play. And I've not taken him up on the free ticket offer yet, but I hope to get to a game.
Yeah, it's much better name than the Iowa Energy back in the old days.
Yep. Yeah, actually some interesting history. Some of these teams are actually like they participated at a pretty high level and have transferred names and ownership and leagues. Kind of interesting. One of the big ones will be on my number 2.
Your number 4.
The Waterloo Blackhawks. Runners up of the 2025 something division of semi-pro hockey. We had an awesome night, and I love the venue right on the river, that Cedar River. And they just bring a great experience to a league that really doesn't deserve a lot of hype. These kids are 18, 19 years old, busting ass, playing hard, having a good time. And you know, it is exactly what it is. The play on the ice, maybe not the best hockey you ever see, but the environment with the cowbell and the presentation of everything makes them worthy for number 4.
A little disrespect there, my Waterloo Blackhawks, Bryce. But appreciate for putting on the list. My number 4 is the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders.
Whoa.
Classic name. I love the Rough Rider name. You know, don't know anything about them. I love their name. And I do know my Cedar Rapids, a bunch of my coworkers, they are loyal to the Rough Riders.
All right, is that baseball or football?
That's hockey.
Okay, nice. Rough Riders.
Yeah, hockey. Yeah, so shout out to the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. Oh, God, you know what?
Yeah.
I messed up, man.
Oh, I did too.
I'm kicking out Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. Okay? So this is the first time we've ever made an in-game substitution for our top 5 segment on a year of podcasting. You're seeing it take place right now. This is history. Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, you were kicked out of my top 5 segment.
Oh, my gosh. This is crazy.
You're being replaced by the Cedar Rapids Colonels.
Yes.
I forgot.
Okay, that's baseball.
I love the Cedar Rapids Colonels. I've been there 3 years ago when I first started my new job at Green Tech Renewables in Cedar Rapids with my brother and his sister. Or not my brother and his fiance now, geez. And my fiance at the time. Went there. Awesome experience. Great stadium. Did a Star Wars night too. So
nice.
I think they did Star Wars night. I can't remember. But they all bunch of sorts of cool themes going on there. And the venue makes it for me.
That was an insane substitution, and you stayed in Cedar Rapids. I thought you were going to go a different route, and I made a grave mistake. I completely left out one of like the biggest semi-pro teams in all of the state, and you'll see later. And I'll make errors and omissions. But my number 3 is the Newton Nighthawks.
Newton's got a freaking semi-pro team.
They sure do. They play a little football over in Newton.
It's football too?
Yeah.
What does Newton do with a football team?
Sounds insane, right? And it actually has a really deep history. This team started in 1973. They've had some off and on years where they didn't play, switched leagues, all this kind of stuff. They won a league championship in 1975, shortly after they came into the league. And their most notable feat is that they were the first North American team to play football in Europe. How crazy is that?
Is this arena football, right? Obviously. It's got to be.
No, it's not.
What?
No.
There's another league in the state of Iowa with semi-pro that's not arena football.
Developmental amateur football. Yep.
Oh, God. How many injuries are happening in each game?
It can't be good. The level of play can't be good. And I don't want to hate on these guys are chasing a dream out here, so I'm not going to hate on it too much. But yeah, I do wonder about their safety. I don't know. Uniforms are cool. Yeah, you got a little black and gold going on. I don't hate on these new the Iowa Nighthawks.
I don't know if I believe you on this. I'm gonna have to do some research after this podcast. So I'm gonna
be a good clip if
There's
it's
no
completely
way.
wrong. Yeah.
There's no way there's a football team that's not an arena football team, especially playing in Newton, Iowa.
Uh-huh.
I refuse to believe it.
Yeah. Dude,
That's
there's semi-pro football teams everywhere. Everyone's
I
trying
get
to make
that,
it.
but not whatever. There's no okay. I'm sorry if I'm disrespecting, but what a life that is. You play semi-pro football and you got to live in Newton, Iowa, getting a $5,000 check per year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I'm not going to name drop this person out of respect for their small family, but there is somebody that we know, and
So you know somebody.
you do too, and they play for the Green Bay like Waterhawks or something like that, something in the same league, and they make like $50K a year.
But they play Newton.
They might be in the same league. I'm not even sure, but there's tons of these little football organizations.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me. My number 3 is the Sioux City Bandits. The arena football team there in Sioux City. You know, Sioux City doesn't have a lot going on there, Bryce. They really don't. People who live in Sioux City are going to tell us otherwise. I get that, and I fully respect it. So what I'm thinking is when they do have something going on there, they're going to fully invest into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're shoved out there in the western part of the state. You're your own city. You got a population of 80,000. So you know they're showing up for the Sioux City Bandits over there at the Tyson's Event Center. One of my favorite event centers in the state of Iowa. Never been there, but I've seen YouTube clips.
Yep.
It's a beautiful looking arena football. The Sioux City Bandits is an awesome name, awesome uniforms, and I fully support them. I love what they're doing, and anything arena football in a small venue gets loud and rowdy.
Yep.
Go Bandits.
I love that. That's great.
My number 2, I'm going to circle back here, Bryce. The Waterloo Blackhawks. Young Arena is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's an awesome mini 3,500 seat arena here in Waterloo, Iowa. Waterloo doesn't have a lot of bright spots for it, but the Waterloo Blackhawks is one of them. They put on shows. They put on the Star Wars themes. They invite to collaborate with us in hosting a Waterloo Blackhawk Iowa Chill Night. What are they? They do cool shit, okay? And I appreciate them for investing in us because I fully invest in the Waterloo Blackhawks. And a side note, every single game I've ever been to, which is probably about 8 or 9 games, they've never lost. They've never lost. And the last game we went into sudden death shoot off, and I've seen some of the greatest fights there. Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you say? Let's go Blackhawks.
Now that you mention it, I've never seen them lose, and it makes me feel bad because they had a chance for the championship this year, and I have a feeling if we would have showed up, there's no chance they're losing that game.
They never lose. Anytime I've ever been there, they've never lost, and that's been awesome games.
Yeah. Did I cut you off? Are we out of order? Can I go with my number 2?
Yeah, you're good. Go to number 2.
Okay. This one I'm going to kind of sub out because I completely forgot to mention this team.
We're doing a 2 sub.
Yep, an official 2 sub, first time ever with the first sub, and now a one of a kind double sub. I'm starting with the Iowa Wild. This is what I had on my sheet, and I've never been to this, never seen this team in person, but they've got a pretty strong history. So this team started as the Houston Aeros in 1994. It was sold to Minnesota Sports Entertainment in like 2003, and then came to Des Moines in 2013. So they're the official feeder league team for the Minnesota Wild, and they've struggled. But I've heard from many people that have gone to these games that they're electric. I'm starting to just think if you go to like amateur, semi-pro hockey, it just is a really fun atmosphere. Average attendance like 6,000 in the Wells Fargo Arena. Pretty cool.
Damn, they're getting okay. So I didn't put them on my list just because I figured Wells Fargo was too large of an arena.
Yeah.
For minor league hockey, and I hate seeing empty seats. You know, when I go to these small arenas, it's compact, it's loud, it's rowdy. You're invested, you're energetic. You know, you go to these big arenas with all these open seats. You know, the energy can get dispersed. So good to hear. I didn't know that about the Iowa Wild. So I thought about them. So obviously a big name. I could assume, Bryce, that we're probably going to cap it off with the number 1 Iowa Cubs.
Yep.
As a semi-pro team here in the state of Iowa, and that's no shock.
No.
It's the closest team we have to the real deal when it comes to all major sporting events in the country.
And technically not even semi-pro. I think they're the highest level of minor league baseball, which is technically professional, but to me that's like it all falls in the same category, semi-pro, right? The one that we didn't mention, Iowa Barnstormers. And it's maybe that same kind of level. It's arena football. Maybe Wells Fargo is too big, yeah. But the fact that they had Kurt Warner in their presence at one point should have at least gotten a mention.
Yeah, I didn't want to throw too many Iowa teams at it, or too many Des Moines teams in the top 5 segment. But going back to the Iowa Cubs, what I love about them is I love Principal Park.
Yep.
If I'm thinking of it correctly, is in the skyline of Des Moines in the background. It's just right off there on the dirty Des Moines River.
Yep.
It's a great baseball park. It really is. And Iowa Cubs are probably one of the most respected minor league baseball teams in all of MLB.
Yep.
And my first experience going there was watching my fourth grade teacher's son, Brad Nelson. So Mrs. Nelson, her son Brad Nelson, played for Arizona at the time, but he was playing the Iowa Cubs. And gave me a game ball. I really appreciated that. He actually had a quick stint at the Milwaukee Brewers, but unfortunately got subbed behind Prince Fielder, one of the best first base players. So that eventually ended his MLB career. But I think, and then eventually ended up playing for the Iowa Cubs. Had a really good career for there. So he's like one of the best players in the minor leagues in a 2-year stint. So shout out to Brett Nelson, icon of Bishop Garrigan. But no, I've always had a great time showing up to Principal Park, whether it's for Iowa Cubs or state baseball.
Yep. I know. I wish they still held state baseball there.
We've addressed this topic, haven't we? We're pissed off
because it's a fun park. I remember when some of the upperclassmen. I went to a game maybe in 8th grade. Pella had made it to Principal Park, and it was such a cool experience. And I wish everyone could still experience that. I'm sure that the venues now are awesome too. But yeah, Iowa Cubs are really cool because you get that, like, if you have some good Chicago Cubs teams, you'll get a lot of guys that are rehabbing from injury or just getting themselves back into game shape. So you get a lot of like high quality players that come through Des Moines. So it adds to it.
I think it was Kyle Schwarber. Was that his name from the Cubs?
Yeah,
they won. He came down. He was in a slump hitting, messed around with the Iowa Cubs, could get his shit back together and went back up to the Cubs. So. Yeah, that's a big.
He's having
that's
a hell of a year this year for the Phillies.
Is he cool? Yeah, I haven't heard a single thing about baseball, but that's the cool thing about the Iowa Cubs. They just bring in some big names, and Principal Park, one of my favorite venues in the state of Iowa.
Yep, kind of all over the place with that list, but we got there.
I think we gave our 2 good cents there. We made some quick substitutions, which people will understand. Hopefully, we haven't done it in a year. We've been pretty loyal to our list.
Yep,
going in at it, so. Hopefully people respect our last-minute decision there. But good list. Good episode there, Bryce. What do we got to recap here coming up for the upcoming weekend before we sign off?
We got Emma Martinson doing some food reviews today at the Iowa State Fair. And like you said, we'll do a little bit more recap.
She's boots on the ground.
She's there. She's going to be trying like 15 different food vendors spots and hopefully making a bunch of TikToks. So stay tuned for that on the Iowa Chill TikTok and maybe some Instagram Reels. We've got Scott and Dusty's second of 3 wedding receptions this week. So I'll be seeing you on maybe Friday or Saturday. And otherwise, I think just finally having some normal work weeks, which is really nice.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to just a normal week. But yeah, this weekend we have 2 weddings that Saturday. Really? Yeah, so we got to figure out where we're going at what time, but you'll eventually see me.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, nice. I think they're both from Waverly, actually, so which makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, that's good. I think because you're making the effort to Vegas for 3 of 3 weddings for Scott and Dusty, I think it makes sense that you spend a little time with that other wedding. Is that a Madison friend or is that a you from college
Madison friend?
Okay.
So nice. My whatever late absence or early departure will be forgiven.
Yeah,
because we're flying across the country, go to Vegas.
I think that's acceptable.
Cool. Well, awesome episode. I think we're going to be recapping Iowa State football preview
soon
for this upcoming week. I think we're going to have one of our good boys, Mason, on. We got to get in contact with him, see if he's interested.
Yeah. So we've got our prediction. Not next week. Is it the weekend after that we have the Farmageddon game in Ireland? 23rd.
Is it next weekend already?
I think we're I think we're 2 weeks away from college football.
So not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend, I think is the game.
Yep. We got to get that preview out.
It is. Yeah, so that's why we have to do it next week.
Yeah.
So whether we do a special episode or he just hops on, we do a shortened episode of Iowa News, and he hops on, we do a quick preview of the season. We'll figure it out.
Let's do it. It's that time. And I know I said it last week. I wasn't ready for fall, but I'm getting ready for it. And mostly just because it's football season. We didn't talk about this at all, but there was a lot of Mark Gronowski highlights this week.
Yeah. Yep.
It's easy to get too excited.
He'll be all right. Kids Day is never good for any Iowa football guru. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. Mm-hmm. I got faith in him.
Heisman Trophy winner?
Big Ten first team.
Okay.
Second team. He'll be second team.
That's
my bold prediction for the year.
Okay. Yeah. Excited for that preview. Good episode. See you on Friday or Saturday.